Hey world, I'm Josh.
I'm Lauren.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Try Stuff.
Coffee edition.
Today we are trying from Case Coffee Roasters the Colombia Casa Vieja. You can get this probably still, maybe when we're shooting this at least, at casecoffeeroasters.com. And the tasting notes say brown sugar, nougat, and apple pie. And I guess Casa Vieja means old house.
Mm-hmm.
And they say we source coffees that are sweet, clean, and complex. Much care is put into every step along the way, from cherry to cup. Enjoy. That's kind of nice branding. I like that. And the beans smell like really nice beans. Honestly, here's a look at what they look like. Kind of a nice medium to smaller sized bean. And the Mistobox notes say this fully washed coffee was sourced from the growing region of Merino in Colombia and was produced by Ara Perez at 1,950 to 2,050 meters. That's above sea level, I guess. And we love this coffee brewed as a pour over, Chemex, Kalia Wave, V60, to highlight its nuanced notes of brown sugar, nougat, and warm apple pie. And not that anybody ever cares, but our Mistobox referral code is Z295. And let's see. Coffee itself, I would say, probably leans that brown sugar route, the way it smells. Brown sugar and nougat. I don't know that I get any apple pie, except maybe, like, you could say the crust, if you really wanted.
Yeah, I think it's just, the point is that it's a sweeter coffee, which it is.
Okay, you talk while I taste. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like the brown sugar is the closest thing to what I'm getting. Because even though I had a whole bunch of sweet food just now, this is still a sweet coffee. Like, I didn't get the, ooh, that's acidic. But no, not at all. It's rather sweet coffee.
I don't know. I'm actually kind of getting sort of... It is... How do I put this? It is like a sweet bitter, like a currant or something, or a lingonberry or something.
It has that chocolatey kind of...
Yeah, it's hard. I'm like almost all... None of the things I'm going to say are going to be totally right. It's almost got a smoky quality, but not at all. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say it tastes like smoke. It's not sweet like a natural or honey processed African coffee. It's just, that's not right. So, like, when I think sweet, that's what really comes to mind for me, and I don't think that fits.
It's not like that, but it's definitely a more caramel type.
Right, it's somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Burnt but not burnt, like a toasted marshmallow, a burnt marshmallow. That's s'more kind of thing. For me, it's more like a caramelization than a full-on brown sugar nougat. Just slightly over caramelized kind of thing.
I really like it.
No, I do like it. It's just not my favorite kind of coffee. Is that very sweet, very fruity, floral, natural, honey processed.
This is a slighter, darker roast.
This is going to appeal to somebody who likes a more typical coffee flavor, I think. Like when you think of a really high-end version of your parents' coffee. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's sort of like...
It's different, yeah.
Colombia Casa Vieja just kind of makes me think like old-school Colombian coffee, like Juan Valdez, like, brought this coffee down, except you got it like fresh and sourced properly and roasted very recently, whereas it didn't get over roasted and ground up and freeze dried and served to you in a Folgers or Maxwell House can or something. Like,
Yeah.
it's that's sort of what it is for me. It's like if you had what your parents' coffee would have tasted like if it didn't go through all that.
Mm-hmm. And if you just in general like the kind of taste that comes with a darker roast.
Yeah, I don't. It's obviously not a dark roast. The beans aren't oily at all.
No. And the beans aren't that dark. You know, they just.
Yeah, I don't. It's.
Nah.
It's
But I don't know.
It's tough to show and not spill them everywhere. But.
It tastes to me, I don't know if you get this, it tastes to me like kind of like a nice light medium roast.
I would say firmly medium, probably.
I think
it looks like a lighter, pretty light roast, honestly.
Yeah. And because I drink darker roasts than you do, I rather like it.
But I also think just typically the African coffees we've had have been sweeter, and the Central and South American coffees have had this sort of flavor. So
yeah,
it's really what I expected. I don't get a level like brown sugar nougat apple pie. That sounds very sweet to me, and I don't. It has sweet notes, but those are secondary to me to the more darker caramelized kind of notes.
Which compared to African roasts are way more. Those coffees are way more fruity when it comes to that kind of sweetness.
Right.
So it just depends on what flavor types you're into.
And it is sweetening up as we sit here, and the 6 or so minutes this has dragged on, it's cooled down even more. I mean, I already we brewed it with a Chemex, and I let it cool down for like 10 minutes. And it was 700 grams of water to 42 grams of coffee, if you're curious. And yeah, it's now about probably close to 18 minutes since I finished brewing it. So it is sweetening up as it cools down. But yeah, there's still that strong caramelized note. It's just lingering into the background. So if you like that stronger thing, drink it right away. If you like it sweeter, sit on it. Let it sit for probably 15-20 minutes before you actually drink it, and then.
And like we talked about before, this coffee is good for somebody who likes coffee.
Oh, absolutely.
And rather than is looking for the least coffee version of coffee.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I don't want to put my biases into it so much. I'm just trying to tell you what it tastes like to me, because it's good coffee. Like I said, I like those sweeter coffees, so this isn't necessarily one I would run to.
And I like
but that doesn't mean
ones too.
That doesn't mean it's a bad coffee. It's a really good coffee. It's just not my personal kind of preference.
Yeah, exactly. I like both. And I think the smokier flavor is kind of nice to have as an occasional thing to mix it up.
And it's also interesting because it's not really a one-trick pony. Like I said, the longer you let it sit, you start to have a different experience with the coffee too. So
yeah, I'd say this is a really good quality coffee.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would expect nothing less from Case or Mistobox,
Well, we've had some that we really flat out didn't like.
Yeah, but even then, it was high-end coffee. It just didn't fit what we were into.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that it wasn't outright distasteful to us or anything.
So, good coffee, good for having multiple experiences with one bean,
Sort
honestly.
of a darker flavor.
Right. bitter notes that will give way to sweeter notes as you drink it right away and as time passes. So I think that's it. This has gone on long enough. Thank you for watching.
Tell us what to try next. Comment down below.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.